oh, they picked this. They had the same guy as in Avid Children. They kept some of the Avid Children voice actors. Look at Cloud, looking badass. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I will be very honest. I don't really care too much about Cloud's new look because they changed it from the Avid Children, like the Avid Children poster you see right here or right there. Oh, no. Right now I'm done with that. I like the Avid Children Cloud's face. So they changed it. It's a different kind of face. But the good news, it's the same voice acting as Avid Children. Avid Children voice acting with this gameplay, with not only Final Fantasy 15 battle system, but HD cutscenes. The only thing I'm hoping to see if they release a trailer 3 is I hope they put all the good characters. I hope they actually trailer 3 they put Tifa, Sephiroth, Cid, Red 13, Kate Sith, Vincent Valentine. Did I say Cid? Yeah, Vincent Valentine. It'd be nice to see if Zack would make an appearance at least in one flashback. If he doesn't. But I imagine if Vincent was going to be in there, which I already know he is because I've seen the trophy list and I already did a reaction, he's going to look like his Dirge of Cerberus except with the CGI cutscene versions. Which, if you haven't already, before the game comes out, I want to give you guys another challenge. Another of you know, minions of the night, you know, my soldiers of the night. That's my favorite. It's soldiers of the night. With a power that's invested in me. With a power that's invested in me. To play Crisis Core first on the PSP, if you own a PSP, or if you can emulate it. Then after that, Final Fantasy VII, after Crisis Core. Then, after you beat these two games, I want you to watch Avid Children. And then, after Avid Children, I urge you to play Dirge of Cerberus on the PlayStation 2, which I don't think you can emulate this, really. So, you know, if you have a PlayStation 2, this is like 14 bucks at vintage stock. I think they don't know if they got regular silver copies like this, but I urge you to play all these games. That's my challenge to you. Now, I gotta talk about the character design a little bit because I want to make this video a little longer. I'm gonna be very honest. I wish, you know, Cloud's body and everything looks good. I just wish the face looked like the Avid Children face. But, you know, that's just my little drawback. Barrett's look, I like it. This is better. Because in the old Final Fantasy VII, Barrett looked like Bane from Batman. He was all big and muscular, too muscular. He was like Bane type of muscular. And the problem with that is that's unrealistic to cosplay. So that's why we haven't been seeing no Barrett cosplays at the cons. So I'm glad they kind of shrinked Barrett's muscles a little bit, and they gave him the blade, haircut, and glasses, which I think is a little bit more badass, but nonetheless, it's still the classic Barrett, and they gave him a tank top, too. So, Barrett looks more realistic than he did in the original Final Fantasy VII, which I'm happy. So did Cloud. I just wish Cloud's face would have been the Avid Children-like, but you know what? I can live with that, because I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII fan, and a Final Fantasy fan in general. And, yeah, I'm going to pick this shit up when it comes to launch. Besides getting Fallout 4, Destiny, and Star Wars Battlefront, this is also another game I want to get. And this has been amazing. Just this trailer alone makes me want to go out and buy it right now. But it's not available. I might actually go ahead and buy the Final Fantasy. I might end up buying the Final Fantasy VII on the PSN store, the original, so I can do some streaming before this game comes out, because this is just a legacy, a living legacy to me. This is, oh man. But if you want to get yourself started on Final Fantasy VII, start with this game. This is actually, even though this game came out right after Final Fantasy VII, this is the prequel called Crisis Core. You play as Zack, and then, you know, Zack dies, gives a bust. So this video's got a spoiler. I'll put it in the description. Of course, everybody already knows this, even people who don't play Final Fantasy VII. Zack dies, gives the Buster Sword to Cloud. It's Cloud's turn to save the planet. And they defeat Sephiroth at the end of the game, which you already know. And After 3 years later, Advent Children, Sephiroth comes back and they have to fight Sephiroth again after fighting 3 teenage forms of Sephiroth called the Remnants. One turns into Sephiroth, Cloud has to fight him again. Then after that, 3 years after that, Vincent Valentine becomes the hero and fights the last members of the first class soldiers, VII and Nero, that ran the organization called Deep Ground. Which this is the last play because the world's under the evil empire of Deep Ground, and pretty much Deep Ground is pretty much Final Fantasy's version of the Nazis. So Vincent Valentine has to put a stop to it and bring the world back to the way it was. That wasn't under Deep Ground's control, because Deep Ground is actually in a Shinra elite unit. That if if anything would happen to President Shinra, Deep Ground would have took over, and they did. So Vincent becomes the hero in this one. So yeah, you got your homework assignments, and I expect you, Soldier of the Night, to play Crisis Core all the way to Dirge Cerberus.